Oh, and also, we were also asking for a letter, although it can be conditional, from this financing institution showing that they are prepared to finance the project. And it can be conditioned upon the city's approval of the abatement.
And we want that by April 25th?
Absolutely. I believe, Mr. Triglow, that's sort of what we've been asking for.
That is the deadline.
Correct. So
25th.
Yeah, that's what we said at your TIF. When you approved the proceeding with the TIF a couple meetings ago, conditioned upon the developer paying those costs, that was the timeline. And I would anticipate your timeline would remain the same. One housekeeping matter, you just may want to consider clarifying that the deposit that, and the developer did make the deposit for the TIF, just clarifying that those funds can be utilized for the abatement costs, rather than just the TIF that was approved before, because you're switching from TIF to abatement now.
Correct. And I verbally worked that out with Mr. Suri on the phone, but if it's a matter for your record, that'd
I
probably
would
be a
like
good
for the
idea.
record that, you know, the council, if you're considering that, then just change it from TIF to abatement.
Correct.
I do have a question on the second paragraph in the development agreement. Or just maybe it needs to be clarified. Developer shall deposit $5,500 with the city, but if it's not substantially complete, it will not be reimbursed. If it is substantially completed, it will be reimbursed.
Correct.
So the city's gonna pay for it.
If the project happens, I believe the way it was approved, the night that you would approve me moving
Okay.
forward if you deposited the funds, was in the case that the project didn't happen, you had the dollars to cover it. But if the project was successful, then he would get his money
Okay.
back.
I just wanted to clarify that. Okay.
Where did you get the $8.50 per hour for the employees?
That was somewhat arbitrary. That was discussions between myself, Mr. Suri, and then working with Joyce on your business subsidy policy. And what that is business subsidy law requires that we have job and wage goals included in the agreement. Those job and wage goals must be met within 2 years of the building being completed, or he must repay all assistance plus interest to the city. Now, that can be prorated to the extent that he meets the goals. So when we do these things, we want to make sure that A, we're going to be consistent with the policy, and then B, we're setting goals that we are fairly comfortable the developer can attain, so that we avoid that problem. More than likely, he's going to exceed those goals. You can probably well imagine having a motel.
Does this, do those full-time equivalents and wage benefit parameters, does that include, or is it exclusive of the community center operations?
Community center is a completely different operation, so this is only for the motel. So there's not any jobs at the community center, which I expect there shouldn't be any, right? That should only be public. That's a city-owned facility.
He's going to
But
be operating.
He's operating.
He's the operator.
Oh, correct, but his employees will be employed as part of the motel project, even though they may be utilizing the space. That's fine. But these jobs are associated with the motel.
It seems rather minimal.
Correct.
The state doesn't care.
It's your policy. It's your policy. It used to be years ago that we could simply say increasing the tax base was a good enough public purpose for business subsidies. That changed with the Business Subsidy Act. And now it says we have to ask for certain things in return. And we must address job and wage goals. It doesn't say how many. It doesn't say how many jobs for how many $1,000 of assistance. It doesn't say which wages. That's up to you in your local policy.
Okay.
But I think the overall goal is to get a motel and to get these assessments accounted for.
Okay, you've got the extract, the minutes of the meeting held tonight for setting public hearing.
Yes, there, I believe there might be a typo in the hearing for the business subsidy. If you look at the exhibit for the notice, if it says April 19th, I should say April 25th. Thought I caught that this morning when I was
But
reviewing
the
them.
public hearing, it says Monday, April 25th.
Okay, but there's a notice as an exhibit that we'll put in the paper. And if it says the 19th, it should say the 25th. Maybe it's fine. I thought I was flipping through the material. I
The
caught
very
that.
last page, it is wrong.
Okay. I apologize for that. Please make note that it'll be the 25th, and I'll get you a clean copy, Captain. But I'm sorry, Ted, you had a question and I cut you off.
Well, I was just wondering if the public hearing was going to be before the April 25th drop dead date. You said it's on the same date.
Both of those would be held that same night. And if we lack the documents that we're requiring, I expect it'll be pretty short.